Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to the Truth Talk podcast. I'm here again with D.
Hi everybody, I hope you guys are having a great day.
The first thing we're going to be talking about is something that I believe not many people have covered, and it's in regards of the start of hip-hop. It actually has something to do with one of the founding fathers of hip-hop, one of the pioneers, Afrika Bambaataa. He was actually one of the DJs who was credited as being one of the pioneers of hip-hop in the early stages. Many people don't talk about this dark part of what he was being accused of and what he's currently being accused of. And many people just kind of forget it. I believe it plays a very important role in how hip-hop turned out the way it has turned out today, and why there's so many dark energy and so many demonic things that happen within hip-hop. I believe that it has something to do with the fundamentals that were even being expressed back then when hip-hop first started. For many people who don't know, Afrika Bambaataa was one of the first people that really started making hip-hop out of old records, out of old disco records and stuff, and he would have all the local kids show up to these park events and that they would host. He used to host these events where people would show up and they would have these battles against groups. This is where Afrika Bambaataa was considered one of the people that created hip-hop, because he was part of that early stage movement and he played a big part in it. But what many people don't know was that he was actually accused of doing some very sick, disturbing things to the kids that he was working with. I can't really say exactly what he was doing because I don't want the video to be taken down, but just know that he was doing things that he shouldn't be doing with these underage kids. The same ones that he was working with, the same ones that he used his status to kind of like lure. You know, they want to be part of this rap movement that's going on. And this is the guy who people see as one of the founders, one of the starters. He took advantage of that position and, you know, took advantage of many people. And many people have kept to themselves of what this man has done to them. But I believe that this is something that still lives on in hip-hop today, as we've seen. Like, I expressed what I thought Birdman and Lil Wayne's relationship was when they first started. I felt personally, in my opinion, that something inappropriate might have been going on there, especially since a lot of people don't know this. I cleared this up in the Lil Wayne video. In the Lil Wayne video, I talked about how Lil Wayne wanted to literally end it all and tried to end it all because his mother didn't want him hanging around Birdman or making music with Birdman. He told everybody that he was just messing around with it and it actually accidentally discharged. But in all honesty, he later admitted in a song and also in an interview that he did that to himself. In my opinion, I always wondered, what was Birdman doing with a young child, you know, of that age? Why would a 12-year-old kid be hanging around a grown man like Birdman and his crew? To me, I always found it suspicious. To see that the founders of hip-hop, one of the people that is known and credited as one of the founding fathers of the genre hip-hop that's been living so strong and been so impactful for years, has been accused of doing these things that I believe that artists like Birdman and many more artists in the industry are probably have to go through just to get positions, like we've seen with Diddy. There was a rumor that Diddy also, in order to give these artists deals, would ask for a little extra credit. He would make these artists do things to him to get what they wanted. We might not have 100% proof because Diddy's not going to come out and say this, but there's already been people very close to Diddy, like Diddy's ex-lawyer, Diddy's ex-bodyguard, who they admitted to Diddy being into those type of things. And you gotta understand, we only see the part of the industry they want us to see. We don't see what goes on behind the scenes. We don't see what these people have to do to make any of these things happen. And I'm telling you that most of it is very sick. I'm not gonna say that all artists in hip-hop are sick. There's definitely been a few of them, and a lot of them, honestly, that have been doing some things that are very questionable, especially Afrika Bambaataa. And I feel like none of this got enough coverage. The same thing like I just did in my Truth Talk video with the Sony PlayStation executive guy. For some reason, nobody seems to want to cover that. For some reason, nobody wants to talk about that. This is not even the first time this happened. Sometimes in the 2000s, another PlayStation executive got caught doing the same exact thing. There has to be accountability, but there isn't, because this is exactly what these CEOs do. They do this all the time. They just don't get caught. When one of them gets caught, they have to make sure they clean up the mess. And that's exactly what they do. They clean up the mess. When Afrika Bambaataa got caught, they cleaned up the mess. That's all they do. They don't want to destroy the principles of hip-hop, so they have to make sure they protect them. But the honest truth is, there's always been something dark attached to hip-hop. When there's men like this that operate in hip-hop, when there's men like this that are credited as the founders of hip-hop. And me, coming from the Bronx, the birthplace of hip-hop, I was born and raised there. I loved hip hop my entire life. It meant so much to me. But as I grew, I understood that there's a lot of agendas and a lot of manipulation that goes on within hip hop. So you have to steer clear. You have to make sure you don't let it manipulate you. Because at one point in my life, it was manipulating me. And it was manipulating, and it still is manipulating several of my friends, my family members, and people that I love. The lifestyle, the culture, I see people get hurt all the time because they live that lifestyle that the music promotes. To know that since the beginning, since it was created, it's been attached to darkness, lets you know that we've never had a chance. We have to remember not to get too attached to these artists because we don't know what they had to pay to get there or what they're doing to stay there. Africa Bambaataa, who knows how many people he took advantage of using his position. What do you think, Dee? What do you think about this situation? A man with so much power.
I think he was definitely abusing his power and his position, especially in a place like the Bronx. A lot of those people, he was being able to manipulate were young. They didn't come from good backgrounds or have much where they were. So, being able to come to a place where there's music and they're being accepted and they're able to have fun. And then on top of that, an older person accepting you and taking you under their wing made them feel comfortable. It made them feel okay. So he was using all of that, the fact that he was older, that he had, his own place, the music, the crews that he had. I'm pretty sure, he was probably giving these kids money as things to dangle over their head to do the things that he wanted to do. None of those things are uncommon for a person who's in his position. As we've seen with multiple artists, executives, CEOs, a lot of people that get in those higher up positions follow these practices or these rituals that have been passed down. Why they choose to do these sick things to young people, I personally don't know. But to them, they feel that's the only way that they can get success. That's the only way that they can succeed. I can't believe that they just let it go by because there were so many other adults in the building who could have opened their mouths and said stuff and not let any of it happen. But everybody stayed quiet, stayed shy, and let everything continue on.
Yeah, I feel like it's part of hip-hop culture at this point. Like we seen with R. Kelly. I know he wasn't really a hip-hop artist, but we still embraced him a lot within hip-hop. But R. Kelly as well, we seen what he decided to do with his stuff. Robert was a man who took advantage of his position often, the same way as Africa Bambaataa, the same way as P. Diddy, the same way as Birdman, the same way as many of these artists are doing, and we just can't really see it. You understand? They're taking advantage of these young people because these young people were willing to do anything to make it. They've built a system where this is just part of it. I'm not saying that everybody in the industry is down with these practices, but it's definitely present. Nori, he's a rapper. I'm pretty sure many of you should know who Nori is. He once said in an interview, and he said this out of his own mouth, that there's 3 doors in hip-hop once you reach a certain amount of success. I'll see if I can pull up the clip and put it in here if I can find it.
It's a level of success where it's a door. It's a door. When you platinum and you getting 50,000 a show, I've been there. There's a door that you could walk in. I'm not sure if it's or if it's the Illuminati. I just didn't take that though. I went straight.
What do you mean?
This is when you get to a level of success, when you getting 30, 40, 50,000 a show, you platinum, you running across the world. There's 3 different doors, right? There's 3 different ways to walk. There's to the left, there's to the right, and then there's straight. Straight is you're on your own. Let's see if you continue this success, young man.
He says out of his own mouth, there's 3 doors. One of them where they'll have you doing some stuff, like Lil Nas X, or another one where you're messing with the Freemasons and the Illuminati, and then the other door, which is just you're not gonna reach that level of success. It's just, a steady pace of just enough. And I don't think there's anything wrong with just enough. I think people need to understand that, yes, it's good to have a little bit more, but it's not good to be greedy, and it's not good to obsess over having more than everybody else. I think that once your bills are paid, once you're able to take care of your loved ones and, help others, you should be satisfied. You should at least find some peace within. These artists feel like they need it all. They need the world because they're missing something inside, and they feel like maybe all these material things could play a part in fixing that. Africa Bambaataa took advantage and has spread the disease within hip-hop where now there's other people taking advantage. There's other people doing God knows what to get what they want, to keep control and make sure that they dominate their power. This is a common practice now that I believe has been going on behind the scenes since then. Africa Bambaataa used to get these crews of these young kids, and these young kids looked up to him like he was a god, like he knew what they needed to do to be popular like him, to be cool like him, you know? He took advantage of all those people that entrusted in him. These kids were there to have fun and to express themselves in an urban way, in a new way that wasn't just what they couldn't connect with, which was the disco scene. And he took full advantage of those children that just wanted an opportunity to make good music and be part of something different. Now let's move on. Let's talk about the recent Travis Scott interview. I know that I've already spoken about Travis Scott a few times, but I watched part of this interview and it really kind of irked me. Like, this guy, man, I don't know what's wrong with Travis Scott. I don't feel like he's even trying at this point. In my opinion, I don't think he cares about anything that happened to any of those people. So it really pisses me off that he's allowed to just like parade through the media and just act like nothing happened. Like he's clear of all the actions, of all the things he did. Apparently, he's filing a motion to dismiss all the lawsuits against him, which I already said he was going to find a way to weasel himself out of this because he's not going to take accountability to this. But during the interview with Travis Scott, there's a point where Charlamagne asks Travis, which I personally dislike Charlamagne's method of interviewing. I feel like it was a way of protecting Travis Scott's reputation and trying to like play as a damage control, fixing what went on. Instead of literally taking accountability, they made it sound like it wasn't Travis's fault. That's what I got from this interview. But during the interview, Charlamagne asks Travis, hey Travis, something about the people claiming you're satanic and your music is satanic. Travis responds with he's a man of God, that he always spreads the gospel, basically. He always spreads God's word through his music. If I'm not mistaken, that's what he said. I don't understand where in any part of any of his music there's anything that's holy or anything that promotes God, or if I'm misquoting him. If he says that he always represented it, I think that's what he really said. That still does not make sense to me. I've never seen Travis at any moment tell any of his fans to praise God. I've never seen Travis at any moment show us anything that didn't seem demonic. I like to analyze people. It's part of what I do on YouTube is when I watch a video to make one of my videos, I literally sit there and watch the video over and over and over and over again to pick up and to see what they don't want us to see. They want us to see it, but like I said, it's meant for a specific group of people to see, the people that they're with. So I sit there and I analyze and I come up with a conclusion after sitting there and analyzing for a while. Same thing I just did with Travis Scott. I heard Travis Scott in this interview at least say you know about more than 1,000 times. His sentences, if we were to write it down, were you know, 4 words and some more you knows. When a person does that, it's clear that they're trying to come up with things on the spot. They're trying to deflect. They're not really trying to be honest. When someone's being honest or speaking from the heart, the vocal is more fluent. It comes consistent. It doesn't break. It doesn't stop. He doesn't have to think what he's going to say if he's truly being emotional and speaking from the heart. But he isn't. He is trying to say whatever's going to get him out of the situation, but he's not speaking that cleverly. The things that are coming out of his mouth make him sound like he has no idea what he's talking about. And unfortunately, when he was asked questions regarding the people that were lost, he didn't show much sympathy. How do you feel about the situation, D? Because you saw the interview and you were also feeling type upset over how he was reacting.
Yeah, this whole entire situation is just super crazy. I don't even know why he thought he needed to file motions to dismiss the lawsuit. People lost their lives at your concert. You should feel responsible for that regardlessly. There has been many artists who have stopped their concerts for the smallest situations. If I'm not mistaken, Travis Scott himself stopped his own concert because somebody took his shoe. He saw people being dragged out. You're telling me you couldn't stop your concert? And on top of that, now after all of this has happened, you want to dismiss everything? No, that's complete BS. I don't know what's going through this guy's mind. And he obviously has no sympathy for these people, as you can see in his apology video. And if you've seen this Charlamagne interview that he's done, none. There's one point where Charlamagne asks him, what do you want to tell to the family of the people that were lost? He said, that I'm here. Not that I'm sorry for your loss and that I want to do everything that I can to make them feel better, but that I'm here. Okay, you're here, but not their loved ones.
In my opinion, I feel like the media is disrespecting us by even trying to spin this and make this seem like nothing even happened. It honestly makes me upset that he's allowed to parade around and act like 10 people aren't gone. Like, come on, can we honestly take accountability for 5 minutes? Can we not let this man walk away from a situation? Anybody else would have done this. Imagine any of us being responsible for 10 people being gone. Imagine any one of you being responsible for that. Do you think that you're able to walk around and do interviews? Do you think that you'll be able to be on a golf court with Michael Jordan? This is something that I want people to consider. The game isn't fair. There's nothing going on here that isn't manipulation. Nothing. They know what they did. Travis isn't the only one that's a part of this. Travis was the person that was responsible for the night. But this has been going on for years, and they don't have any accountability because they run the media. The media is manipulated. What accountability could they possibly be? If they're the ones who choose who should be accountable, who should be criticized, and who should be destroyed. They're the ones that run cancel culture. When people really deserve to actually be canceled because they've done something terrible, no, they're a part of a system, an agenda that cannot be stopped. They get to be okay. They get to be free. But then there's other people that they get canceled for whatever. Once they don't need you, they'll cancel you. Once they don't want you in the public eye, they'll get rid of you. That's the system. Travis is responsible for the people that were gone, whether he wants to admit it or not. It was his event. It was his music. It was his way of conducting the event that led to all this happening. When people were begging him to stop the event, he had multiple opportunities to stop the event, like he's done multiple times, like thousands of other artists have done whenever a situation happens. We have seen artists stop shows because they've thrown a bottle at the artist. They stopped the whole show. We've seen Justin Bieber walk out of a show and didn't even perform because of the same exact situation. Someone threw a bottle at him. So you're telling me that Travis Scott didn't have the power to say, there's people that are hurt. Let me stop this. Let's fix that. And if things could be fixed, then we can continue. If not, then I'm sorry, the show has to end. Like every other person would have done. He knew what the fans were there for. He knew what his task was. And this was all a ritual. He could deny it all he wants. He should have not put all the symbols that makes people point to that conclusion. If there would have not been all this symbolism before the show, during the show, and after the show, maybe people would not be accusing you of doing something so satanic. You're a man of God the way you claim that you're a man of God. I don't see any men of God messing around with the devil. What men of God mess with the devil? I don't understand that. That's something I cannot comprehend. You are responsible for the people that were lost. You need to take accountability and you need to fix it. You made millions off of them. Now you need to give some of those millions back and fix the situation that you created. Imagine the people that lost people that day that are sitting home listening to this crap. Just imagine that. You have anything to add, D?
I definitely agree with you. There's no man of God who's over here dancing around with the devil even just for fun. That does not make no sense. And none of his lyrics, I have personally not heard one Travis song where he says, love one another, love thy neighbor, worship God. None of that, the exact opposite. He makes party music. So for him to even come out of his mouth and try to say that was complete BS. And although Charmaine tried to help make Travis Scott look like the good guy, he looks totally clueless because he knows in himself that he's wrong, that he's at fault. You can see he's trying to pull as much as he can out of him. That's complete BS to try to spin it off and make it look good, but not even himself believes it. You can see he's just over there trying to convince everybody else, trying to make everybody else believe what he's saying, because not even himself believes what he's saying.
I just hope that eventually some accountability will be forced upon him, or at least he takes some. But let's move on. Let's talk about the next topic. The next thing I want to talk about was NBA YoungBoy, because I've made a video, a Truth Talk video, the last video I put out, and I spoke a little bit about YoungBoy and what I felt was going on with him recently. And honestly, I feel like that's the MK Ultra could be a possibility, or something definitely could have been done to him, because I was thinking about the moment where he was arrested. The more I think about it, it doesn't seem to make any sense to me. Why would YoungBoy try to run away from the police? That just doesn't make sense to me. The guy has been arrested so many times prior that would have made the situation so much worse. And then he runs away from the police, tries to lead them on a pursuit, then runs out of the car into the woods. That's how desperate he was to escape. Come on, guys, let's be honest. This is a superstar. Where the heck is NBA YoungBoy gonna go? Where could YoungBoy go to? He's a superstar. Everywhere he goes, he's gonna be recognized. So there was something desperate about him that he was trying to get away. The more that I think about that, made me figure, why was he so desperate to get away? And then another thing that I found very, very suspicious was when he was arrested and he was taken in, why would he be given bail? He's already established that he's a flight risk. When they were trying to arrest him, he led the police on a high pursuit chase. Then he tried to run into the woods. What fugitive gets released when they already are proven to be a risk? He tried to escape the moment they arrested him. He didn't cooperate. He literally tried to run into the woods. Usually the judge would not release a person on bail that's known to be a flight risk. He already attempted to run away, and he's a millionaire with endless resources on his side. That did not make any sense to me. But then when you start to read that he needs to be in house arrest, that he could only have 2 people over, that he's always being monitored, it just points to MK Ultra. It's clear that YoungBoy has a lot of influence. He is the biggest artist on YouTube. He's set so many records, he makes so much money, and he influences so many young people. Recently, he was talking about that he wants to get out of his contract, be set free from his deal. And the more you look at it, it seems that something could have been done, especially after you see the makeup done to him. People were commenting under my videos regarding him wearing the makeup, saying that I just don't understand, or it could just be that he wants to wear makeup. What I said was, this is a millionaire rapper, right? A person that lives off his brand. Him wearing makeup is the complete opposite of what his brand was the entire time. It will destroy and diminish his brand. Why would any sane rapper do something like that? It just doesn't make sense. It would be like Pooh Shiesty wearing a dress. It just don't make sense. These are gangster rappers. They're not like Little Uzi, who already wears dresses. We got to understand, YoungBoy's image was literally of a street guy. So the fact that he wants to go and claim now that he's always been secretly into this and that's what he does, I find it hard to believe. I feel like someone has a hand in it. Like, what do you feel, D?
I'm 100% with you. This is weird. I would never have thought in a million years that YoungBoy would ever put makeup on himself. He's not like a Trippie Redd. I would have expected Trippie Redd to do this. His music doesn't even speak or even sound like a person who would wear makeup, especially not even emo goth makeup. That's completely odd. It does definitely look like something has happened to him. I also agree with you about the whole entire releasing. I don't understand why they would release a person who was at flight risk. That doesn't make sense unless he was already being controlled in a way that they would feel okay with letting him go back home.
I feel like they were clearly establishing control here. I feel like they took him in, they put him under MK Ultra, manipulated his mind, and then they let him go once they were done. This doesn't make sense. You mean you're gonna tell me that you know this man is capable of running because he has already ran away. He's known to be, running around causing havoc, having a bunch of people with him who will be armed and dangerous. He is not the person that a judge will let go, especially with all his prior arrests, especially with the fact, like I said, a few times already, he tried to run away when he was arrested. None of it adds up. You could say he has the best lawyer in the world, but it wouldn't make any sense for a judge to let him go. It just wouldn't. They can say, all the money in the world. It does not matter. This man can make that amount of money in 6 months. Again, he's the highest streaming YouTube artist there is. There's no debating this. There's got to be a reason why they would take him in, release him, and now he's acting the way he's acting. To me, I find that suspicious. To me, I know the CIA, I've known many other people have used these type of techniques, and it's been documented that the CIA used MK Ultra on many people. If anybody would have that technology, if anybody would be using that, I would consider it to be people that control this world, people that manipulate the audience, people that manipulate the masses. So that's, in my opinion, what's going on with YoungBoy. I personally feel that when they took him in, when he tried to escape, he was really trying to escape for his life. He was trying to get away. I don't think he was concerned about being arrested. I think he was more concerned about what they were going to do to him while he was there. In my opinion, that's what it looks like. Why else would he run away into the woods? Come on, like I said, that's NBA YoungBoy. It's not like he can go anywhere. He can't go anywhere in the country, without being recognized. It's suspicious to me. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section. If you feel like I'm looking too much into it, you can let me know. But if you want me to even make a video where I go further into the subject and I dig into it some more, I'll gladly do it. Let me know in the comment section. If 700 people comment YoungBoy, I'll make sure I'll make a full video where I go deeper into the subject. That's it for this video, guys. I appreciate you guys joining me, and please don't forget to comment what you guys want to see in next week's podcast. I got more videos coming next week. I'm working on the Kobe video. It should be out sometimes next week, hopefully within the middle of the week. I appreciate you guys checking in for all the videos, and I'll see you guys next week.
I hope everybody has a great weekend. Goodbye.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Truth Is. If you would like to further support the channel, join me on Patreon. The link would be in the description. If you join before the 28th of this month, you could be entered to this month's monthly raffle, where you can win a shirt, a cash prize, and even pick a video topic. Also, please leave a comment below on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button, as this helps other people find these videos. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. Please follow me on Instagram at TheTruthIs01 and on TikTok at TheTruthIs. I will gladly appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.